This is John LeBaron with Chimney Check Professionals. This is the video portion of my inspection. This is where I take a look at the inner walls of the chimney system. Right now I'm going to look at the the living room one. Pretty sure this is called the living room. This is basically as you're facing the fireplace structure, basically this big masonry component here. From the front door, this is our right facing fireplace living room. There's a gas line right here. I'm assuming that valve is for it. I'm going to try to turn it on and off. I don't go crazy with that. If it's not easy for me to get it on and off, then I stop and I defer it to a plumber. And that is the extent of my test for the gas line. In other words, I'm not here to check for gas leaks. I'm not here to verify that the gas line is installed correctly. I'm here mainly to look at the fireplace system, and if there happens to be a valve, I will try to turn it on, and that's about as far as I go there. A fireplace is supposed to have a screen over the opening. That could be a simple removable screen. We have a damper here. This particular damper does open and close. There's our handle there. You should look up and verify that it is in the fully open position before you light it. There are gaps between surfaces. Right up in here we have gaps there. We should not have gaps and voids and little holes here and there. We have gaps here as well. So I would talk about filling and sealing those. That is also the case with the family room one. I think this one has a little bit more as far as gaps go. So as we look up into the system, we can see that it's not really used very much. We can see exposed rebar. See the steel there? We really shouldn't have exposed rebar within a masonry system. I mean, will it ever become an issue? You know, that's pretty much guesswork. I want to pause my recording and bring my camera back down and kind of clean off the cobwebs. Alright, so basically we're at the very top. I decided to fast forward to the top. I'm going to bring the camera down and then record that for you as I'm coming down. So basically we have double wall brick. We have a spark arrestor. The spark arrestor is just a tad smaller than it really should be. Not some reason to jump up and down about, but you know, it is smaller than it should be. We do have a few gaps between the brick. Probably really not that big of a deal. I would probably put my focus on the smoke chamber in areas like this with exposed rebar to maybe do a coating along them. Eliminate the actual corbelling. See gaps between surfaces here. Corbelling here, exposed rebar right there. Certainly not a bad situation. One could do like a slurry coating, try to coat everything. That's certainly not a bad recommendation. You know, really one could probably do nothing and consider that everything's going to be fine, and it probably will. Considering there's, you know, really just one area where we've got the wood in contact with the masonry, which is basically right at the roof line. I mean, I don't really see it as a... I'm going to double check on the other side to make sure, but you know, we could just basically do patching right at that point there, and any obvious openings in areas, seal and fill those too. That would not be a bad idea. Anyway, so I'm going to look at the other one before I really make a recommendation. Just see how the other one is doing in relation to this one, and then of course look all around it, really make sure, see where the wood is in contact with the system. Ensure you review my written report for my findings and recommendations.